This your boy DeAndre Clark, the host of Like Father, Like Son.
And this is DeAndre Jr., the co-host of Like Father, Like Son.
What's up, man? How your day been going, man?
Good. You know, God woke us up today. It's one thing that's always gonna be good. What about you?
Okay, man. All is well, man. Been productive, but man, it's been a blessing, man.
Yeah.
What's one of the things I teach you to do when you first get out of bed?
Thank God. Thank God that you woke up today.
Why is that so important?
Because he's the one that created us. You know, without God, we wouldn't even be here.
Okay. You got a question for me?
Yeah. How do you define like a good dad?
Basically, just really make sure you just leading by example. Like say, prime example, respect. Just taking care of family. Making sure you're making good choices in life, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I'm around and when I'm not around, it's always gonna be up to you to make sure you're making those good choices in life.
Okay, and like, what is one thing that you learned from me that you probably use in your day-to-day life?
I learned to not take your love for granted, even if my day has not been going right at work or anything of that nature. I learned when I come in the door and you show me love, I need to get that love back to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any question for me?
Okay, what have you learned from me since you've been a baby?
Never wait on nobody. Never wait on nobody to do something, because if you ever do wait on somebody, it might be too late.
Okay. What is one of the most things you have seen me do?
Work hard. Wake up every morning. Go to work, come back. You still working hard. You even clean up the crib. Go outside, probably do the yard. I look up to that. I'll be watching that. Like when you do that, I'm like, yeah, my dad, he working hard and everything. That's
okay.
Good.
So basically, do you think I got a good work ethic when it comes to making sure y'all straight?
Yeah, always.
Okay.
And what are some ways that you think I can do better?
I believe you can do better as far as being honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
When I ask you a question pertaining to anything, I think honesty is the key to anything in life pertaining to your dad. Because if you can't be honest with me, you basically ain't being honest with yourself.
Right. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes, I be scared of the truth. So, I probably do. I probably won't tell the truth. And, and I regret that. Because I know when I do tell the truth that, you're gonna keep it real with me. You're gonna tell me what's right from wrong. And that's what I need.
Okay. Why is as a father, I used to yell a lot at y'all, and I realized that it was pushing y'all away from me. And by me telling y'all the things I need to work on as a father, that will really help me heal. And that's why I'm getting better and being effective in communicating with y'all. And I realize how important it is to be patient, be humble, and not to yell, but just talk to y'all respectfully as y'all talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect y'all for that.
Yeah, and I see that. I'm pretty sure we all see that, and that's why if you ever do get mad or something, I really ain't never, really like, what's that word? I really ain't never like try to blame you for it, because I'm pretty sure it's probably a reason why you did feel that way, and I really ain't never try to like blame you for it. I know I just said that twice, but yeah, because I'm gonna understand where you coming from and everything.
Okay. What do you think is most important when it comes to a father to his kids? Do you think it's material things, or do you think it's quality time and showing compassion?
Quality time.
Why is quality time so important when it comes to spending time with y'all? Why is that so important to y'all?
because that we get to know each other. We know what we like and what we don't like. It's messed up if we do the things that we don't like on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Then we get to create moments
Yeah.
and memories that can't nobody take away from us. We can always go back, even when y'all get older. We can always go back and look at those pictures.
Yeah.
And say, "Hey, Dad, hey, son, this. Remember this?" That's what really helped us keep going, as far as love and cherishing moments like that. That's what really fueled me. That would really keep me going, changing my life.
Yeah, because materialist things, they ain't gonna be here forever. They not. They gonna come and go. But memories, time that we spent together, we always gonna remember that. Always. And do you think you a good dad?
Yeah, I do.
Cause when we was little, I kind of feel like you a little selfish. I mean, not everything about the money, but when we did try to talk to you, you probably did get mad. You probably kind of like pushed us away. That's what I kind of felt like.
Okay.
And I mean, even if it probably was money, when we did need some, I kind of feel like you really didn't want to get it for real, because you probably had other things going on. And as I got older, and I understand that, that you had stuff going on, and that, I couldn't get what I wanted right then and there, and I was cool with that.
Okay.
Because at the same time, you still trying, you still working hard. I respect you for that.
Well, one thing I get from that situation is, when y'all was younger, I was putting y'all last because I was helping everybody else out instead of making sure y'all was straight. So that's one, I don't regret it, but that's one thing that I learned from. I know at the end of the day, y'all come first before anybody. It don't matter who it is. And they kind of hurt me when I was young, but I can't change that, but now I can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I know from that moment, my kids come first. It don't matter who else, you know what I mean? Y'all come first. Y'all my first priority.
Okay.
I remember one time I had a misunderstanding with your mama. And you thought I actually hit your mama. You know what I mean? But I didn't. And you had jumped in and offended her. You know what I mean? That really showed me, like, now you don't play about your mom, but you don't play about me either. There's been moments in your life where people talk crazy, you just jumped up and just, you know what I mean? That moment I was like, wow, you know what I mean? These the type of kids I got under me. Like, my kids don't play with me, so that what really opened my eyes pertaining to y'all, like the love, you know what I'm saying? The love is there, even though y'all be mad at stuff like that, but deep down inside, y'all got that much love for me, and I respect y'all for that.
Yeah, that's the type of person I am. I was always the type of person. If I mess with you, if I cared about you and everything, if I see a person doing you wrong, I always felt some type of way. I ain't like that. Because I know you, and I know that you're a good person. And when I see somebody doing you wrong, that's when I feel some type of way, and that's when I feel like I got to jump in.
Man.
Cause you always been there for me, and I know that you'll do the same thing for me.
That's real right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
And how do you think that me and you can build like a better bond?
I just say, when you ask me to go outside and Dad play basketball with you, it shouldn't be no excuses why I can't come out there and, if it's a game of 21, it should be no reason why even if I work hard all day, I should be able to put forth the effort and come and spend that little quiet time with you, because it's gonna make a difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Even if you don't, I don't want to get mad at that, because I know that you're working hard, and I know that you be tired, so I can't even blame you for that. But I'm still gonna get my little hoops in though, so I can be ready to beat you.
All right. What is one choice you made that you learned from, as far as being in school?
I ain't gonna lie. When I got caught smoking in school, I almost got expelled. That right there really, really set my mind. You got to lock in. You can't be getting in trouble, because at school, I can't. School is everything. If you don't graduate school, then I can't say that you're not gonna be successful, but you're just like, if you graduate school, that you're gonna have like better options.
Okay.
No.
Did I jump in and try to tell you what I tell you when you made that mistake?
I I really don't remember, but I know that you told me to like to do better and like learn from them.
Your mistakes
Yeah.
or your lessons.
Right.
But God did give you a second chance, and you took it and wrong with it, and you was able to cross that line just because you learned from your mistakes. That's good. Not everybody can do that.
Right. And I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I can't say I learned from my mistakes, but I didn't, because even after all that, I still was smoking and everything.
Okay.
And recently, when you tried to get me inside your job, and I was still smoking, I came to tell you because you doing all these things for me, so it would be messed up for me to go to your job, get drug tested, and fail. You was trying to do your best to get me inside your job.
Dang.
Yeah.
What I always tell you, opportunity come anytime, so that means you got to be ready.
Right.
You know what I mean? So those that start with you. Like you say, anything in dark always gonna come to light. Whether you told me or not, I already knew you was doing it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want you. I didn't want to approach you about it. I didn't want you to come and tell. I want you to come and tell me the truth that you were still doing. But I already knew.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always come approach me about that. But yeah, appreciate though for letting me come to you, because yeah, that's one thing that we need to better build a better bond. Be honest with each other. Even though it might hurt us, even though we might get mad, any of that.
When they say the truth will set you free, one.
Yeah, sure did. I felt better, because I mean, I want to get that job, and hopefully I do still get it. But I'm gonna understand if I don't, because I was still doing what I was doing, even though I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing it.
But that's one of the main keys. Really, just acknowledging that you still doing something, knowing it could affect your future too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I always tell you, the choice is yours. It's not mine. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's still gonna be.
It's gonna be on you.
Yeah, it's gonna be up to me. It's gonna be my fault. Whatever happened.
Okay.
Yeah. And why do you feel like a person should, come to you or
I think I'm a good example of a leader. Just leading people down the right way. Sometimes other people can see stuff before other people, and some people can't. I feel like when people come to me, I feel like I can relate to what they're going through, or give them some type of advice to put them on a different path in life.
Okay. And I got a question. Have you ever felt like giving up, and if you did, what were some of the things that told you to keep going?
Well, my biggest motivation is y'all. You know what I mean? Like y'all the ones that I really go hard for. You know what I mean? That's the reason I don't give up, because you know what I mean, I got y'all depending on me. You know what I mean? So ain't no giving up, man. That's just ain't no giving up.
It was the same thing for me. I ain't like school. I mean, I can't say I really thought about dropping out, but I really ain't try as hard. But then when I realized that you graduated, mom graduated, Yana and Kiera graduated, I'm like, shoot, I can't be the odd one out. So that encouraged me to that encouraged me to keep going.
Okay. So basically, man, we motivate each other.
Yeah.
Without even saying anything, based off our choices and our actions.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Lead by example.
That's it.
When you told me that you ain't ever grew up without a dad, how did that change the way you view life?
Well, man, just coming from a strong mother. She was a mom and a daddy in the house, and she basically pretty much handled us like she was a man, but she was in a woman body. So they pretty much she set the tone. Like, she didn't play. We couldn't talk back. Like, we got whooping with switches, race car tracks, extension cords. But I barely got whoopings though. You know what I'm saying? I was pretty much low key cool. But growing up without a father, man, it's gonna be based on the things that get stored in your head. Coming from the person from the right. To me, I think if if an individual is constantly saying negative things about your father, it's gonna affect you. As you get older, it's gonna make you feel like your daddy didn't want to be there, but that might not always be the case.
Right.
But to me, I was like 15, and my dad had reached out to my mom and said, I want to come see my son. So ever since that moment, I realized that, ever since that moment, then none, money, material things didn't even matter because he put forth the effort when I was 15. They come and see me. So I ain't got nothing bad to say about my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
I love my daddy 100%. Nothing. He good, man. I ain't got nothing bad to say about that.
Yeah, when you saying that, I grew up with my mom and dad.
For sure.
But even though you said that, I still humble myself to, never take what y'all did for me for granted.
Say no more.
Because anything can happen to y'all. So I always tried to say I love y'all before y'all went to sleep. Cause even though we had a misunderstanding, that I knew that at the end of the day you was trying, and that you got mad, it was probably for a reason, but I still love you at the end of the day.
For sure, man. Yes, sir. Like you say, man, that's what it's all about, love, man. I think, like you say, as you get older, as my son, you'll be able to see a lot of stuff on your own. You'll be able to realize, to dissect whether something is true or false pertaining to me.
Right, yeah. And that happened to me. Even though I didn't understand it right then and there, I still had a chance to experience what you were saying. And when that happened to him, I'm like, dang, what my dad was saying to me, it was true. There was no point in me getting mad at that. And when I realized that, that's when I be coming downstairs or wherever you at to apologize for getting mad or for saying whatever I said.
That's basically being humble. You got to think about how many sons and fathers don't do that to each other. But how big of a difference it can make when they start doing that, when they start acknowledging their wrongs. Or if I'm wrong, I owe you that much respect to come and tell you I'm sorry. And I apologize for being wrong about something that you told me or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Okay. And I have another question. Hold on. And was that all the things that you had to say about your dad?
Yeah.
Okay. What was going through your mind when what was going through your mind? Cause I ain't like it was you that really came up with it. I wasn't thinking about it. What was going through your mind when you came up like father, like son?
Man, I just think about the positive things that's growing up in the house. That's growing up in the house. The same father, the same son. Like the positive things that come from that. Like you say, when I get out of work, you say, Dad, how your day been? That mean a lot to me. They're like, man, even though my day hard or whatever, and I had a misunderstanding, you come and say, Dad, how your day been? I love you. That makes it a bit different to me. Like, man, if I had a bad day, I come at home, I'm gonna get that love from you to saying, man, my son missed me today. So like, man, it's just a good feeling, man. Like emotion knowing that when you come to the door, your son telling you he love you or how your day been.
Okay. Got any more questions for me?
One thing I try to teach you is always when it comes to yourself. I try to really teach you to be independent but dependent at the same time. Because I do everything the woman do: cook, clean, wash dishes, wash clothes. I want to raise y'all to be that way. That way you ain't got to depend on nobody doing nothing for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I was saying. You always told us, don't wait on nobody. Cause you ain't gotta wait on nobody. If you can do it yourself, go ahead and do it yourself.
You know what that's called? It's called taking initiative. Taking steps of faith when you want to accomplish something, when you want to become something.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely did that a lot of times. Sometimes you probably say you was cutting the grass, we got off work. I was probably already at the house. I'm like, man, my dad, he at work. He working hard. So, let me go ahead and cut the yard so that, he come home to a freshly cut yard that look good and everything. Even when it comes to clean up the house. Even though, y'all don't care, they probably sleep upstairs or they doing whatever they doing. I know that I want you and mom to come home to a clean house and to be comfortable.
Okay. Hey, why did y'all used to always run upstairs when I get off work?
I mean, I can't say that I used to do that, cause I always knew that there was a reason why I used to come home complaining. Cause we all at the house, and the house ain't clean, something ain't done, and you tell us plenty of times to do it, but then when you come home and start complaining, they get mad, or we get mad. So like I said, as I grew up, I understand that there's no point in us getting mad because you telling us what we got to do and we're not even doing it. But yeah, I guess yeah, cause you kept complaining every day. You used to come home mad, and we didn't want to deal with it. So yeah, we just ran upstairs to our room. Well, I can't. Yeah, ran upstairs to the room. So I guess we try to avoid you.
Which is cool though. Cause like you say, man, when you come home, you don't never supposed to, whatever you got going on at work, you supposed to leave it at work. Whenever you supposed to come home, you supposed to come with a different feeling. Come in the house with love and stuff like that. So, back then, I was still working on myself as far as emotions. Come home yelling, wasn't really getting nothing done. You know what I mean? So, like you say, y'all used to always tell me what I need to work on as far as communication, and I just took that feedback and ran with it. So I'm doing better as a father communicating. I see the benefits of communicating and doing it without screaming and yelling and things of that nature. So I thank y'all for acknowledging and telling me what I need to work on as y'all father though.
Okay. And what advice can you give some people or some fathers and sons that probably get angry with their dad or with their son? Like how can they cope?
I would say think before you speak. Is it what you upset about? Is it worth? Is it worth you being angry? Is it worth you disrespect your dad over something that you can take a deep breath or go walk away and think about something before approaching your dad or your son?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, just don't be in a hurry to get angry. Think about it. Take a deep breath before you approach any party.
And like God say, slow the anger.
That's it.
Cause if you quit anger and you say things that you probably regret, and tomorrow ain't promised, and if you at least try to make up with your dad or somebody that you mad at, not saying that it probably be too late, but it might be too late. So that's why I always come to you, humble myself.
Okay.
So I always apologize, even if I was wrong, even if I might be right. At the end of the day, you still my dad, and I gotta respect you.
Respect go both ways, man.
Yeah.
Just because you my son, just because you my son and you're younger than me, don't mean that I can't not listen to what you got to say. You know what I mean? Just taking stuff in, just being able to hear you out and different things are part of your life, though. You know what I mean? So basically, just getting a little more understanding.
Is it good for a father and son to have a deep conversation, and why?
Yeah, it's good because you might got something inside of you that I might not even know, but I can answer. But I can answer that question if you only come to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I kind of felt like we really couldn't come to you because instead of you trying to understand where we coming from, you probably say things that you think that you should say at that time instead of actually trying to listen to us, and understand where we coming from.
Okay. So that's as a father, that's why I listen more than I talk now. I was bad with that because I didn't let y'all get a chance to say what y'all got to say. So that was one of my struggles as a father. You know what I mean? Not being able to listen, not just to y'all, but just even at my job. I learned to listen. I had a vision. Somebody said, DeAndre, just listen. So I knew when I had that vision, I knew God was telling me it was time to listen now. And so that's why when people talk, I listen now. That's what I mean. So I understand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is one thing that you think everyone needs to if they want to change? What do you think they need in their life?
You gotta be willing to change yourself. Change start with you. And when you change, then everything else change around you.
Okay. Yeah. When I thought of that question, I always thought yeah, you gonna need God to really change, you know what I'm saying? Because God really gonna show you, you know what I'm saying? God really gonna tell you, right from wrong. Like, what you doing wrong, or
Right from wrong start with you.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So before you even make a choice, you already know whether you gonna make the right one or the wrong one based off what you're about to do.
Hey, you can definitely feel it when you do.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And do you think like money is more important than family?
Nah. Money that's just an asset. That's just a tool. You can lose money, but you can't lose your family. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
family can't be replaced.
Right. So why didn't you like get us stuff when we was like little? You would say things, but then like when the time came, you like, nah, wait.
Well, like somebody said, man, when really all the pressure on you as a father, it ain't no you can't play around with nothing. You know what I mean? One choice can make you lose everything, or even have your lights and water off. So I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to even put y'all in that situation where y'all ain't got no lights, or y'all ain't got no water, or y'all ain't got no gas.
Yeah, yeah. Even if we can't get no Jordan 1s or we can't get no Jordans or Nikes, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Mama always taught us to be thankful for what you got. It don't matter if it's J's. It don't matter if it's all brand shoes. We couldn't even get none of that stuff when we were little.
Yeah, and I learned that from you. You told me that. You weren't able to get all that stuff when you was a kid, and everything you got me, even if it was big or small. I always what was that word? I always
I teach you to be grateful
yeah, I was always grateful for everything I got.
because it's somebody worse than what you got. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that's the importance of being faithful over the small things you already got. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. And and like another one. In what ways, like, hold on. Yeah, in what ways have you ever like felt disappointed in me?
Only when y'all be honest with me.
Okay,
That's that's the only thing. Honest.
all right.
you
What you got?
remember the time I used to get off work. How did you know I was coming home when I got off work?
The music and the truck. What you had to what 16s about 16s I think.
I can't even remember what size though.
Yeah,
But I knew even when you was younger, man, like everybody used to ask you where I was going, you always knew I was going to work. So you know what I mean. From that, when you was a baby, everything I was doing it was automatically transferring to you already, not just to you but to your sister too. So I basically I did my whole life, but y'all just really led by example. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it just basically transferred down to y'all.
okay, yeah, and yeah. Like that's what you're telling me. It's okay to wait. And you all gotta get some right then and there. So yeah, sometimes you gotta take your time, cause if you do, you'll be able to see the bigger picture and things.
Well, you got to make sure always got to make sure your priorities straight.
Yeah,
You know, priorities come first. Everything else come last.
yeah, cause if you rush to get things, and then you probably ain't got enough money for something that that you need. So now you stuck with something that you rushed at instead of getting something instead of making sure your priorities straight.
When you got older, what did I make y'all do far as y'all money?
Manage it. Uh, y'all always when we was little, I always watch you. Manage your money. Always tell us that you can't get that right now. You got to wait because I knew that you had to pay bills. You had to make sure your priorities straight. So yeah, that right there. Me watching you from that, I already knew that spending your money on things that you really don't need is not gonna do nothing good for you. For real.
Okay. as a father, when we go out and when we go out and things of that nature, I make y'all pay for y'all stuff all the time. There's a reason for that. Number one, I'm here, but I don't want y'all depending on me 100% because I want y'all to stand on your own 2 feet, especially as a young man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why I make you pay for your own stuff now, because you're older, you're able, you can go, you got a job, you can work. But like I said, you can have anything, do anything, as long as you manage your fruits right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the purpose of why I do the things I do pertaining to when we go out, to eating things in that nature now.
Okay.
It teaches you how to be responsible with your own money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always gonna be here if you really ever need something. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Okay.
And why do you think most fathers leave their son?
Man, it could be a different reasons. It can be from the. It can be from a addiction. It can be from
Probably trying to work on themselves, so that they can do better.
It can be from anything.
Yeah.
They drink too much. You know what I mean? They can have addictions. They can be done cheating, anything though. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot that can happen. That can make that problem happen.
Okay. And why do you think some people are afraid of the truth?
Man, that's a good one. I guess it's just really just admitting that everything that's happening is on you. You know what I mean? So that just like they say, the truth will set you free. The only way to set yourself free is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of afraid of the truth, so that's why sometimes I always went to mama. You know what I mean? Yeah, mama, she always kept it real with me, but I know that if I came, told you something that, you're gonna keep it real with me, and I guess I was kind of afraid of the truth sometimes.
Don't never be afraid of the truth.
Yeah.
Don't never be afraid of structure. You know what I mean? A lot of people, a lot of sons don't go to their daddy because they don't like the structure, they don't like the firmness. You know what I mean? And that's really what I try to show you from since you was a baby.
Yeah.
I got to be firm with you. You know what I mean? Because if I was the type of father that wasn't firm with you, you could be out there doing anything.
Right.
And I don't want you out there doing anything. I want you making the right choices while you with me and when you're not around me.
Appreciate y'all for watching our podcast, Like Father, Like Son. Like, follow, and share. We're on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Let's go, man. This your boy DeAndre Clark on Like Father, Like Son. Man, if y'all looking for, man, some content that's real, that's cutting, that's raw, that's authentic, man, Like Father, Like Son podcast is what you want to be looking at. Let's go.